Conversations are links, okay? Let's imagine every conversation to be a tiny metal link. And every time you talk to a stranger, a metal link is formed. And every conversation that you have after that moment, the link gets stronger and stronger. And every day, each one of us meets so many strangers. The grocery guy, the cab guy, maybe the receptionist at a new office you went to. And with every conversation, we build new links. Until finally at the end, we've created a kind of massive World Wide Web of conversation. World Wide Web. It's a catchy word. I think I've heard that somewhere. That's it, right? A conversation. It's a fascinating thing. A conversation is an adventure. A conversation gives you a whole new perspective. A conversation opens a door. Conversations can make war, and conversations can make peace. And conversations define who we are as a human race. Strangers, they are everywhere. And we've always been told, don't talk to strangers. But I beg to differ. Every stranger comes with an opportunity to learn something new, an opportunity to have an experience you've never had, or hear a story that you've never heard before. And you've had that moment, right? You're in the room with someone you don't know, and you look across the room, you see a stranger, and you think, I want to talk to this person. And you can almost hear the first word, but it just won't come out. It kind of gets stuck about here. It kind of goes up and down, and you don't know. You know what? Here's my advice. Just say it. What's the worst that can happen? They won't talk to you? Well, they're not talking to you now. The first word, floodgates. I truly believe that the first word acts as a floodgate. Once you said the first word, everything else just flows. So keep it simple. A hi, a hey, a hello. And do what every good bowler does. Just gather the enthusiasm, the positivity, the energy, put on a big smile and say, hi. I know, there's going to be that strange moment right now. Turn to someone sitting next to you, stick your hand out and say hello. Go on. I love the awkward laugh. Why is she making us do this? The first word, floodgates. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. What's going on? Nothing much. Same old. So tell me what's new. There you go. 45 seconds down, wasted. Right? So here's my advice. Skip the small talk and ask a really personal question. And don't be afraid. Trust me. You will be surprised how much people are willing to share if you just ask. So ask any kind of personal question. Maybe, interesting name. How did your parents think of it? Is there a story behind it? Or how long have you lived in this city? And do you remember the first day you landed here? You see, answers to those questions are always something unique, always something personal. My favorite one to try is, where do you come from and where does your family live? Unfailingly, every single time I sit in a cab, I do this. I ask that question. Where do you come from and where does your family live? Let me tell you a little story. I was coming home one night and I get into this taxi, open the door, sit down. I say, where are you from? Where does your family live? And the 60-year-old Pakistani cab driver goes on to tell me all about his life in Peshawar. We talk about politics, we talk about music, family, his wife, his farm. And 20 minutes later, he is convinced that I am the perfect bride for his 26-year-old college-educated son from Peshawar. And as I'm getting out of the taxi, he's taking out a passport-sized photograph with this look of enthusiasm. I have to say it was a very difficult goodbye. But the moral of the story really is, what starts with a hello can end with a marriage proposal. And that is a warning. Step 3. Find the me toos. Have you ever met someone who starts a conversation like they're starting a debate? I'm from Delhi. I hate Delhi. Yeah, nothing kills a conversation like a negative. When you meet someone for the first time, make an effort to find the one thing that you and that other person might have in common. When you start at that point and then move outward from there, you will find that all of a sudden the conversation becomes a lot easier. And that's because the both of you are suddenly on the same side of something. And that's a really powerful feeling. Now, what could you possibly have in common with a stranger, you ask? It could be anything, right? You're both in the same place at the same time. Maybe you're from the same country. Maybe you both like the winter, or you're longing for it to rain. I don't know, you'll find something. When you find me too, you automatically have a kind of buy-in from the other person. Trust me, that's helpful. Pay a unique compliment. I read somewhere that people will forget what you do and they'll forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So be generous and go out and give someone a nice, full compliment. Ask for an opinion. All of us have opinions, trust me, and we all want them to be heard, and everybody wants validation. So go on and ask for an opinion, and that's when you open up a two-way street. That's when the real communication begins, and you will be surprised how much you can pick up about a person just by asking their opinion on something pretty generic. Be present. I know you've been through this. I know I have. You're pouring your heart out to someone, and they're like this. Yeah, go on, keep talking. I can multitask. What's with the Wi-Fi? When someone's trying to communicate with you, the least you can do is really be in that conversation. Just be wholeheartedly present. Just be there. And my favorite part, make eye contact. Trust me, eye contact is where all the magic happens. You can feel the conversation. And trust me, when you're looking at someone in the eye, 9 out of 10 times, they will not dare look away. Right? Now I found my favorite point because I think it's got a catchy name. Name, place, animal, thing. You remember that game? Remember the little details about a person. Remember their name. It's so important. It's awful when you meet someone for the 18th time and you say, you must be Paul. No, Peter. Something with a P and it ends with... It's terrible. Remember someone's name and say it back to them. You have no idea how important you're making them feel. And that's not the only detail. Remember all the other details as well. The places they like to go to, the places they've been to, the places they want to go to, their pets' names, how their pets been feeling lately, the things they like. Remember their children's names. That's such a winner. And remember their wives' names and their girlfriends' names. Just don't mix up the last two because that could be disastrous.